As a foreigner, immigrating and starting your life in a completely new country, the beginning is undoubtedly one of the most difficult parts of the entire process. Most likely, you don't know where to start. What exactly should you do upon arriving in the country? What paperwork is necessary? Where and how do you do each thing? This confusion is very common, and we have created this video to bring some order. Below, you will find a list of the essential things you must do upon arriving in Spain. We will cover everything from how to open a bank account, which is almost mandatory when entering the country, to other tips and key steps that many foreigners overlook. So, if you were looking for a step-by-step guide with everything you need to know, explained easily and without complications, this is your video. Let's start with step 0, which you should do even before arriving in Spain, and which could affect your entry. Most likely, you will enter the country as a tourist. Depending on your country of origin, you may or may not need to apply for a visa to enter as a tourist. If a visa is required, there are certain requirements you must meet for it to be granted. And this is something many foreigners are unaware of. Even if you don't need a visa, you will still need to meet these same requirements, as the authorities may ask for them when you cross the border. We have discussed these requirements in other videos. We will leave the link above. But remember that we are talking about having travel insurance, a return ticket, sufficient money for each day in Spain, or confirmed accommodation, among others. But this is another point that many foreigners are unaware of, but is crucial. One of the most important requirements that the Immigration Office always validates and checks to grant you your residence permit is that you are not in an irregular situation. To do this, they need to verify that you have not exceeded your 90 days as a tourist. How do they check this? Through the stamp on your passport. If you enter Spain and your passport is not stamped, for example, if you enter the Schengen area through another country and then travel to Spain without encountering a border, you must go to the police to make an entry declaration and report the exact date of your entry, as you do not have a stamp. You have a maximum of 72 hours to make the entry declaration after entering Spanish territory. You can find a police office at the airport to complete this procedure, but any other police station will also be valid. This is probably the most important step in this video. Once you arrive in Spain, one of the first things you should do is register with the local council, known as empadronarse. This basically means registering your address with the city council of the city where you will live to officially declare that this is your residence. It is a fairly quick procedure, but it should be done at the beginning, as it will be useful both for obtaining your residency permit, accessing services such as healthcare or education, and for other legal procedures. The process varies in each city, but keep in mind that in major capitals or large cities, you will most likely need to make an appointment in advance, online or by phone. The NIE is the number that identifies you as a foreigner in Spain, and you will need it to carry out almost any procedure. For example, to open a bank account. More on that in the next section. Therefore, obtaining it will be essential. There are two different options here. If you have already processed your residency application at the consulate and it has been approved, an NIE number will already have been assigned to you with that application. If you are applying from Spain as a tourist, because, for example, you are applying for a permit under the entrepreneur law, this number will be assigned when you submit your application. In both cases, this NIE will accompany you for the rest of your life in Spain. What you will need to do is make an appointment at the nearest police station to have your fingerprints taken, and finally obtaining your physical residence card, which will also contain this important number. But what if you haven't applied for a residency permit? How can you get an NIE and to be identified? What you can do is apply for a non-resident NIE. That is, you will need to prove that you need this number to complete a specific procedure, for example, opening a business or buying a property. And they will issue this number so that you can complete the procedure without any problems. Whether you are going to receive a salary, pay for any type of service or bill, or carry out a usually daily economic transaction, it will be absolutely necessary to open a bank account. To open an account, you will usually need your passport, NIE number, and proof of address. At this point, how exactly to open it will vary depending on the bank you choose. Here, we recommend that you conduct thorough research in advance to compare conditions for you as a foreigner. On one hand, you have neobanks or online banks, such as Revolut or N26. With these options, you can open your account online and much more quickly. There are the more traditional banks, like Banc Sabadell, La Caixa, BBVA or Santander. Here, the opening process tends to be slower and more tedious, often require you to make a face-to-face appointment. Again, make sure to compare conditions, especially as a foreigner, as some of these banks offer products especially designed for migrants like you. To work legally in the country and access the public healthcare system, you must register with Social Security. Without this step, you will not be able to obtain a formal work contract or contribute towards your future pension. The process is usually carried out at the offices of the General Treasury of Social Security. You should find the one closest to your home. You can make an appointment online to avoid waiting. To register, you will need to fill out Form TA1, present your NIE and passport, as well as work contract or registration as a self-employed person. Once this process is complete, you will receive a Social Security number, which you will need for any activity related to your work or public health in Spain. If you have any questions regarding this process, the best you can do is to contact our team of lawyers by emailing us at info@balseisgroup.com. We will be happy to analyze your situation personally and guide you step by step to successfully obtaining your residency. Remember, if you haven't done so yet, the best thing you can do is to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.